Let just let just let us feel free. I've been also talking to people who are making change in the community that they belong to. In the few minutes, I'll be taking us through the journey of financial management for entrepreneurs. So first of all, I really want to appreciate the pastor of the Redeemed Church that invited me, and also my good friend, Mr. Chinedu Odogu. He used to be our most brilliant student when we were in lesson then. So when he reached out to me for this little opportunity, I couldn't resist the offer. It's my pleasure to be here to share with you guys from the little that I know. And I hope that I pray that by the end of this class and the end of this whole package that you have all put up, lives will be transformed, not just only spiritually, but also financially, emotionally. I'm sure it's a power-packed program. I'm sure this is just one of the many programs. I was around last week, and I learned a lot from the two classes, though I didn't finish because I had sessions to also go for outside the Zoom. So, but today is my session, and the few 15 to 30 minutes, I'll try to be very explicit. I try to be very, very simple in my use of terms. Though when it comes to finance, people get carried away. You don't have to be a finance student. I am a science student based on what I studied in school, but I find myself in business, and so finance is always a very tough course. People don't like hearing the word money, but they want to make money. Okay, but I will try to make it very simple, and it's just going to be an overview, and I will make it such a way that you could actually, make more sense out of the whole thing I'm going to say. I also promise to share my slide. So when I'm done, I will forward the slide to the admin, to Mr. Odogo or so. So he would definitely share with you guys. I felt that you need this. I think I took this course last week for a group of women that are into business. They invited me to help them through financial management. And I felt that the responses from them over the past 1 week have been very amazing. Some people they don't know that what they do is wrong until they get to be informed. That's why somebody said, when you are not informed, you are deformed. So I believe that from what we're going to learn today, we're going to share knowledge. So I'm coming to also learn. By the time we're done, I will be transformed, you will be transformed. So let's start. Financial management for entrepreneurs. I believe that before now, we already know who an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is different from a business person. So entrepreneur sees a problem, doesn't complain, solves the problem, do not only make financial returns from that problem, but also make huge impacts from that problem. For example, COVID-19. I can tell you that some people are smiling to the bank this period. At the same time, some people are crying to the bank this period. So for some entrepreneurs have been able to see it as a problem. They're not complaining if dollar is 460 today or 480 tomorrow. They are solving it with some simple solutions, and they are also affecting lives positively. You see, you cannot be an entrepreneur if you take away the impact. A businessman just want to make money, but an entrepreneur seeks to make both money and so while he's making profits, he's also concerned about the people, right? So we have social entrepreneurs, we have for-profit entrepreneurs and the rest, but this is not part of my class. I'm just trying to take you through the use of some of these terms. When you say an entrepreneur, most people even confuse entrepreneurs from self-employed. All self-employed can be entrepreneurs, but not all entrepreneurs can be self-employed. So these are the things that might take you through the world of business from other classes you might have learned. But today, we'll be looking at the basic financial, basic things you learn in terms of financial management. Those simple things you should know. Some of us have businesses, some of us are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs means people who are working for another business, but in soon time, they hope to also become entrepreneurs. They hope to also have people working for them. So whether you are an entrepreneur, you are a worker, or you are an entrepreneur, you need to have a level or a basic knowledge of financial management. So in today's economy, you can bear with me that oil revenue is number one contributor to our GDP. True or false? It's false. From a little analysis and data that I've collated, 60% or more than 60% is making up for services. Because of the recent interest in agriculture, we've had 21.6% increase over the last few years. And then we've also seen 18% in industry. That means Nigeria need more industrial activities. Then the 10% goes to oil, which we think, funny enough, that 10% is what your country is seen to be their mainstay economy, which is wrong. Because unfortunately, if you follow the news, oil is devaluating almost every day. Initially, it was 165 per barrel. It has gone down to 90. It has come down to 75. It has come down to as low as 30 or 30 plus. So what is surviving our economy is devaluating every day. That is the reason why your dollar is shooting at a higher rate than your naira. But again, that is not a class. That is a class for a political economist. But today, we've been able to streamline all Nigerian problems into 4 basic challenges. Number one is illiteracy. If you solve a problem within illiteracy, you will make money in Nigeria. So like I told you before in the last 5 to 10 minutes, I said an entrepreneur does not only seize the opportunity, does not only seize problem, but he or she solves solution. He solves the problem with a very, very feasible solution. There's a book by Christensen. He's dead already. He died last year. But this guy, a Nigerian guy, a former, I've forgotten his name. They wrote a book, Prosperity of Paradoxes. So one of the things they said about in that book was that your solution has to be very feasible, affordable, that a common man can also buy, right? So if you solve anything relating to illiteracy, which is a very big problem in Nigeria, and I'll tell you why we started playing in that space. Then you look to oil dependency. We are so oil dependent. This is our major problem. But this is also a big revenue for the country if we tap into it very well. And that's why Dangote is also investing in it. We look at population, we are over 200 million people. That is the one that is captured by data. I can tell you that we are more than 200. The population is supposed to be a threat to the economy. But where people see problems, entrepreneurs are seeing solutions. I told someone that even just take Ajegule for an instance. If I want to sell a solution to Ajegule, I will look at the verticals. I say, okay, most people cannot afford this solution. How do I sell a very low cost, affordable, quality-driven solution? I tell you, you become very wealthy. So population shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't scare us. It should rather be used to drive the economic change we want to see. Power is a major challenge in the country. You and I know that almost 80% of all production runs with power. You see? So if you don't have power, of course, you can't drive anything. So those who play in that sector of alternative power distribution, such as your inverters and the rest, they know how good that space is playing. Then the last and not the least, corruption. This one cannot be overemphasized. Your country has gone through a decades of corruption inheritance. So there's no solution for this one. This one is not. We're not going to be finding solution for this. Rather, we have to do this, and that is where automation, free fair government, and all of those practices come into play. But let me tell you a bit of what we've been doing for the past 4 years as a business. we started in 2016, so you need to have a bit of what we've done, so that it sort of give an idea of what I'm going to be using some of these things as a case study why I go on my lectures. So in 2016, that was when there was a surge in farming. You guys will recall, and we had to go into farming. And then in 2018, we saw a need for us to invest into education. And then in 2020, we created 4 more businesses. And then we told ourselves that even in all of the solutions that we've created before, we noticed that there was a loop in some of those problems, which is technology. And we started looking at how can we start serving businesses, not just customers. So our first 2 years, we focused on business to customers. And now, in our first 4 or 5 months this year, we focus more on business to business. I'm going to explain that as we go deeper. This is because we founded a parent company called Growth Capital. So what we do basically that we invest in early stage businesses, but for now, we are sort of investing in in-house businesses. So the goal is, in soon time to come, we're planning that by 2021-22, we should be rolling out our Founders Fellowship, where we get to invest in people. Because let me just say this truth. I have been a very huge beneficiary of investment from people. And the only way I can pay it forward is to also invest in our people. So I can't just keep winning grants, winning awards, winning investments every year, and I'm not thinking of also investing in people. Which is why anytime I go out to speak, I tell people that this is part of the plans that we also want to do. We just don't want to only invest in people, but these days, when you come out to speak as a motivational speaker, people will say, what have you even created? What have you even done as a person? People don't want to listen to you because you've not done anything. It's in this part of this world that we have a lot of motivational speakers that don't even have a business. So you leave your audience bamboozled and confused about what to do. You don't only live by the word. Okay, you also live by action. So before investing in people, we want to tell people that this is what we've done. This is the traction that we've done. And some of those lessons that we've learned over the years will be very valuable for the upcoming or the incoming founders. Let me also paint this picture. We are open to investing in only failed businesses, which I'm going to explain that before the end of the class. I'll tell you why. So one of our core principles is to focus on people who have failed before. People who basically started business, made mistakes, failed, but cannot go up again. That has been my mantra. That has been our partnership mantra between me and my friend and my co-partners. We're looking for people who have failed before, because I have failed before. Yeah. So it's easy to invest in failed people who have failed before. When you invest in them, certain things that you would risk your money for would be averted because of previous failure. It's only someone who refuses to learn that wouldn't want to take those corrections. Okay, now, so just a bit of understanding of a startup, which I think most of us are into right now. We are running 1 or 2 businesses that are less than 3 to 5 years, but this is a sneak peek of what would probably kill your business if you don't watch out for it. The first thing is, just note that 30% of businesses, so 50% of businesses will fail in the first 2 years. That's normal. Not because you are not good, not because you're not sound. The country is positioned to make you fail. Okay? But I don't like emphasizing too much about the country. If you're my friend, or if you're close to me, or if you follow me on social media, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about problems. I look for solutions, right? I'm a solution-driven person. So you hardly see me talk about the problems. I'm always, even my team will tell you, why are we not selling? What do we do? What have we done wrong? What should we do better? What is not working? What is working, right? So you need to be able to start thinking to become a solution-driven person, because odds are high. Odds are always high that the country is positioned to frustrate you and I, because you and I, we are legitimately doing businesses, right? in an economy where disposable income for most people is below average. So ordinarily, people don't have enough money to buy your product or services, right? And if they do, is your product a need to have or a nice to have? Now, in Nigeria is the only place where I see that needs to have is becoming nice to have. People now are wondering if they could go to school or not. Schools in other countries is a need to have. You see, in Finland or other countries, if you have a client that said when they went to abroad for a C&S surgery for their third child, the son followed them to the clinic, and the doctor asked him, "Are you a citizen in US? Do you know that for your child not to go to school is a crime? Like the government literally pays for you to go to school, right? So it is a need to have. The government knows that this is a need to have. So that's why even in abroad, if you don't pay your child service, you are in problem. Most of the court cases you watch, you say child suing the father for not paying or not meeting up a child service fee. In Nigeria, I'm not sure we know what child service is. So you can see that things that are normally a need to have in a country like this, unfortunately, is where you and I belong to. It's a nice to have, which is supposed to be so. So imagine you saying you want to start up your business in a country where the tax is going to come for you, in a country where the government is not even giving you a supporting hand, in a country where the bank don't even care. If you don't have collateral, they're not going to loan you. If they loan you, they're going to pressure you. In abroad, banks behave like merchants. They call them merchant banking. So what do? They give you a loan. They help you get customers so that you can pay them their loan. But in Nigeria, banks give you a loan based on what you've submitted. And they'll tell you that in 6 months, whether you sell, they don't sell. I'm coming to knock at your door. And if you don't sell, I'm going to sell off all your this thing, and then I will close your shop. So you see, so the economy, the ecosystem, right, it's not favorable. But what about those things that you, as a startup founder, can solve? Some of those mistakes that you can correct is what I'm going to be sharing with you. For example, you can't be a single founder in business. You will never see me say, I'm the CEO and founder of my business. You will never see me say so. Every good investor doesn't like hearing single founder. Once they just have an understanding that you're a single founder, it's already a red flag. Because in business, there's something we call key man risk, KMR. Key man risk is when, if that founder dies, what happens to the business? That's why when Mr. Obiora, it happens to be my nickname, when Pastor Obiora was talking about serial entrepreneur, I was a bit excited. He actually defined it aptly, what a serial entrepreneur is. You build something. Anyway, you don't need to wait for the thing to be matured. Business does not mature in a single day. But once you know you've created system and structures in place that it can run itself automatically, you move to the next thing for you. Okay? They're not stuck at one thing. Okay? They are always looking for, and it's because they're always thinking of problems. What is the problem I'm solving now? How can I solve it? Can I complain? So in all the ventures we've done, there's not like a single founder. A single founder even puts you at a high risk because you can't be a tech person, you can't be a business person, and if you are the two, trust me, you can't be sitting in front of a computer coding all day because you have to be closing deals out there. So while I'm busy closing deals out there, my tech guy is busy doing the coding. Okay, we just got a job to help an hospital do a end-to-end end-to-end automation of their activities electronically with our application, eDoc. And I'm not the one that is building that thing. It's my tech guy and the team. He has to build it. My job is to sell, right? So if I find myself in front of a computer 24 hours typing and coding, when I'm supposed to be on the field selling, something is wrong. So you need to ask yourself, in this cake business, in this paint business, but I want to bring it down now, in this food business, in this shop business, you need to ask yourself, where is my strength? your co-founder should complement your weakness. So the strength of your co-founder is your weakness, and the weakness of a co-founder is your strength. So if you are a tech person, but you are bad at selling, my tech person, the CTO, he doesn't like negotiating. He always tell me he just loves to play with computers. Computer, he can build anything. But when it comes to money, you just tell me, Oscar, just go and do the job. Even when he's the one that brings the deal to the table, he just tell me, Oscar, please, these people just called me. There was a deal he brought for us. Somebody want to build a payment application. He got the deal based on his referral, but he didn't for once have money to bargain with them. He said, no, just talk to my CEO. That's his strength. That's what he knows how to do. He can sell anything. So he understands his weaknesses, which is why he chose me. I understand my weaknesses, tech. Tech is not social media now. Tech means programming, coding. So which is why I chose him, right? So we complement ourselves. Now, let's say you're not doing a tech business. You're doing a normal business like cake, food, eatery, every other thing. You can't be the cook, the seller, the accountant. You can't do all of those things. So you need to be able to know your strength. Tell yourself the truth. Unfortunately, founders don't tell themselves the truth these days. They also don't want to be accountable. That's why they also want to be single founders. I also know that they have heard stories of how people partnered with people and the business failed. Now, this is the caveat. I'm not saying that if you are a single founder, you cannot make it. I'm not saying again that if you have a co-founder, you also cannot make it, or you also can make it. I'm only saying that make life easy for you, or for you to scale fast. You need to have someone that has a complementary skill or a supplementary skills that you don't have. Again, bad location. So some of you might be wondering why some of my services, I don't sell them in some places, because I have come to realize that not everybody is my customer. So you don't generalize customer. In business school, there's something we call total addressable market. There's something we call target market. There's something we call your general market. So you cannot say Nigeria is your market. Nigeria can be your market. As an investor, you can't be pitching to me and telling me that Nigeria is your whole market. No. What I'm expecting to tell me is that there are 200 million people in the world, in Nigeria, but there are 10% of these people are the people that can pay for your service. So your target market is the people that are willingly and ready to pay. And they are in the location where you can afford to deliver to them or to ensure that you meet their service. The next is marginal niche. You can't be an addition to the main idea. Look at, for example, Facebook. Facebook knows that it cannot exist without Instagram. What did he do? He bought Facebook. Let me bring it home again. No, I told you, I said, I'll be using our business as a case study because I really don't like using foreign business to do case studies. It doesn't really make it local, because it is good that we use local cases for us to understand how it works. We started EduPoint 2 years ago. We noticed that schools thought we were competing with them. We were not. We're just a continuum of schools. So we had a meeting and we told ourselves that, see, how do we penetrate school? We know that school houses most of our students, but we don't want to compete with them. We want to collaborate with them. And the only thing we could do was to design an application that can help school manage their system. So now school doesn't see us as competitions. They now collaborate. And I will tell you how that thing came up. So when we started, I went to school to say, okay, you know what, can we be offering these services for you? School said, no, you're going to take our student away from us. They gave me 1,001 excuse why it's not going to work. And I realized that actually it's the truth, because the truth is, I mean, if I'm going to be working with several schools at the same time, anything can happen, okay? Everybody will be scared, right? So the only way to now start build that trust is, how can I provide a service that is not just an addition now, but to them is the main service. And if I offer them that service, they cannot trust me, they cannot work with me. The next is derivative ideas. Derivative ideas is an idea gotten from another idea. So you want to be very careful that you are not solving on a derived idea from the main idea. Okay, because sometimes derived idea is born out of innovation and problem. Don't forget that there was a need for Facebook. Somebody is raising up his hand. Can you guys hear me? I want to know. I'm seeing a chat.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, good. So I'll continue. So for example, derivative idea, for example, let me just say EduBase out of EduPoint, right? You know that the reason why we did EduBase was because of EduPoint, but people don't know. So if you copy me and do EduBase on your own, you won't sell, because the truth is, EduBase might not be making money. You know, it's difficult to sell B2B, but you didn't know that in our plan, in our blueprint, we did EduBase because we could not see any way to penetrate except we should do that, right? And then you now copied EduBase. That's what we see now in Nigeria. People just, once they see that you've won several awards, just copy what you are doing. They don't remember that there was a reason why you were doing it, and this might not even be the first thing you did initially. You get the point, okay? You did this because this wasn't working well. So that could be a solution for you to, run this, but the person is not doing what is now an add-born to become a main-born. It could be a problem. Obstinacy, this is common because it's my business, it's my own. Entrepreneurs don't know it all. Before I came to this session, I was reading already. Entrepreneurs don't know it all. So when you are too stubborn to change or take decisions, it becomes a problem. This one is for people who want to do tech businesses. You don't want to hire a bad programmer. That, you see, the 5-7 deals we've closed this month, so last month, is just one problem. When they call me, I know, and I will just smile. Because they always want to hire a cheap programmer. Programmers are not cheap. They're expensive, but there's a way you can work it out, right? So you hire somebody, he built a website for you. The website cannot even load. If you manage to load, once there's high traffic, it crashes. But he will tell you the website is 30K. And then you are happy, you pay. So when you pay 3 to 4 months, you start having challenges. So, I mean, the app we're building for this hospital, they have met someone before who has built that app for them, but the person didn't do any good job. Okay, so you don't want to mesmerize your business, because hiring the bad programmer can spoil your business. The wrong platform is the next one. You don't want to go into a wrong platform. Okay, you are selling cake. You don't need a shop to sell a cake. Instagram can sell the cake for you. What would you be doing at what do they call this now? What do they call that? What would you be doing at the wrong place? What would you be doing in a group where you know that people won't buy your cake? Why are you there? Okay, so you don't want to be in a place where people are not willing and ready to buy your products. Slowness to launching and landing too early is also a problem. You don't want to be too slow to start and too early to land. It's also a challenge, okay? Then the ones I put in red are the most important thing you need to take note of, which is having no specific market. Like I told us before, bad location can lead to having no specific market. If you know your target market, you will definitely know specifically who you're selling to. Again, raising too little money, okay, and then spending too much, then raising too much of money. They are all go hand in hand. If you raise too little money, you might not be able to scale that fast. If you spend too much of money because you think the money is your money, another caveat now, the business money is not your money. So EduPoint, Ghost Capital, Agroban, and the rest companies, they are running independently. If you want to pay me today, you can't pay me. You are going to pay the company. The company pays me, right? So you cannot say, it's my money now. I'm the CEO and co-founder. I'm the one that have the major shares. Let me go and live in one expensive house. Let me buy a car. Let me do this. Let me travel abroad and go for holiday and all of those things. Okay, so you want to be very careful, because it seems that's what we see these days with young people when they just raise little money or get some little investment, to just start doing some frivolous spending. Please watch out for that. Poor investor management. Some of us that have already gotten investors, you need to be able to ensure that you keep in good communicado with your investors. Every 3 months, we have what we call quarterly meetings. For the past, since April and June, we've had our quarter meeting. We've done it via Zoom. In fact, we even had one today. So by 12. So you want to be very sure that you are communicating with your investors. Your investor can even be yourself and your partner. See, you are your first investor, so you don't need one big person as an investor, right? So you need to ensure that your investors understand and know what you're doing at intervals. It might not be every day, but at least periodically, every 3 months or 2 months. If I invest in you today now, and you keep me and black out for 2 years, it doesn't say well of you. Again, you don't want to sacrifice your profits, okay? And you also don't want to sacrifice your users to also make profit. For example, some of us, we are so much into billing a customer. Our analogy is that this customer, she has money, he has money. Let us bill her. Let us bill her. So you now bill her. Unfortunately, she goes to another place, and that place selling the same thing you're doing to her for her, but for a very, very minimum amount. What do you think she will do, or he will do? It will come to you again. You've lost her forever. You've lost her trust because you can't sacrifice the user for profit. Okay, you can come into a middle between making profits, meaningful profit in quotes, and then also meeting value. Not wanting to get dated. This one is very common. So you see CEOs who say, I'm a CEO, I'm founder. I don't have to work. I do all the business meeting. You just sit at the office, press laptop 24 hours. You have marketers who are marketing for you on the field. You don't even know what they're doing. They could be boboing you. You don't even know. So you have to be very careful. I would love to share so many experiences about myself as a co-founder. The truth is, for all the startup that we created, I've always been on the field. In fact, it got to a point, someone was asking me, and when the person got to know that I was the founder, I was the co-founder of the business, the person was shocked. You mean this is your Oga? Like, yeah, this is my Oga. And he's doing this thing you're doing. I say, I don't know. There were times I don't say in Ajegule, but times I sold chicken in Ajegule. People wouldn't know, The time I was selling chicken in Ajegule, people never knew I was the owner of a very big farm. But you see, the whole truth is, founders are very much concerned about making it work. So if it ensure your hands get dirty. Now, your hands get dirty is not doing Yahoo or doing scam. Hands get dirty means you're working. Like you fold your sleeves, you're doing the job. Does not mean that you put your hand in dirty canal or stuff. It means that you're doing the real job. You're calling, you're meeting clients, you're going online to check for your customers, you're making calls. I mean, when we started EduPoint, we used to call over 50 numbers a day. Numbers we got on the market field, we want to call them, want to close the, we call it cold calling. I and my co-founder, Lillian, we used to call numbers to a point that we'll be laughing at ourselves. So the things you do now, you don't do those things. Now you have people that do those things, right? But if you don't have an idea of how those things work, you can't actually train people to do those things. Then the last two is fight between founders. This is very common. This is why I see most people don't want to partner together. People are very scared. They don't want to fight. Someone like me, I like peace. Once there is an argument, I just stay calm. I'm not the guy that wants to use my voice to outweigh the other person. But as God will have, for the past 4 or 5 years we've been in business, we've not had any fight. That's because we came for the right reasons. We might have arguments in terms of the innovation. CTO will say, let's do it this way. I say, no, this way will work this way. But at the end of the day, we'll still come to a balance point. Right? But when there is a fight because of money, because of shares, because of one action or the other, because of trust, then I think you should start checking those things. Because if you constantly fight with your founders, the chances of growing the business is very minimal. Because nobody wants to go into the business with a full heart. That is why the last one is going into the business with a half heart. You see, when you start fighting with people, you will not have a full heart in the business. I can literally tell you that when I wake up every morning, I know what I would do. Okay? I know basically what I would do as a business. That's because I am putting my full heart into the business. I work in Unilever and Guinness. I resigned. I knew this was something I want to do full time, right? And I want to give it my best. And I've never for one day regretted my decision because I want to go into it with full heart. So you don't say you are here with one leg, you are here with the other leg. See, the truth is your staff are watching. You see, your staff are watching you. The reason why your staff are very consistent, they're very passionate, they're very committed, is because they have seen their boss very committed. So you don't want to do something half-hearted and not be preaching a full-heart commitment to your team. They won't do that, okay? So I know some people wondering, does this connect to financial management? This guy, I was going to see money up and down. I'm saying how to do this, how to do that. Okay, anyway, let me just continue. Let me just listen to him. Anyway, it's all connect to financial management. You see, if you don't have all of this in place, it's going to affect the finances. So these are the things a typical entrepreneur should have, or a founder should have. Should be ruthless in execution, should have the required skill set for your strategy. You should be confident rather, and then you need to basically get the tools to driving your entrepreneurship career. Now, let's come to the cruise of the matter. Getting investments ready. Now, you've heard all these things. You want to now get investment. What are those things you need to do to make you investment ready? You see, as an investor and entrepreneur, I don't invest in people's businesses first. I invest in themselves. I invest in them first. And that's because of what people have done to me. Over the years, people have invested in me first before my business. Oh, I know Oscar. I can vouch for him. I think he has this and this thing. Let me invest in him, right? Then later, they will not start buying to the goal of the business. So if you want to get investment ready for yourself, the first thing you need to do is to devise your financial goals and strategy. You need to understand what you want to use your money for. You need to know how to use the money when it comes. A man that fails to plan, plans to fail. The next is understanding your numbers. See, I can tell you how much we've made in the past 4 or 5 years. Maybe because I pitch a lot. Last day, I pitched a lot, so it might be one of those reasons why. But you see, it's good to have your numbers because your numbers enable you to understand the fate of your business, of where you are going, where you are coming from. If you don't know your numbers, chances are that you don't even know if you are losing or you are gaining. Chances that you don't even know if you are even having challenges in your business. Because sometimes for serial entrepreneurs like us that run more than 2 or 3 businesses, one business might be giving you money. If you're not careful, you might be thinking you're making money. No. So your numbers enable you to know your inflow and outflows. And it is a key performance indicators that you are doing well or not. This will surely help you to boost your value proposition. The next is knowing your funding option. We're going to go into this full time. Don't worry. You enjoyed that section. Do you want to get investments from the bank? I call it debt funding. Or you want people like us to invest in you? I call it angel investment, right? So whichever one you want to invest, it's fine. But there are pros and cons. Don't worry. It's in the slide. You're going to get it. Now, take note that 50% of startup doesn't make it to that 4th year. Funny enough, these are 4th year in business, and we've not only just done the business, we've done several businesses, right? So I don't know. First is give it to God. God, in His infinite mercy, has helped us in terms of getting me the right people to work for me. In fact, that I cannot overemphasize, because you see, you can be good founders, but if you hire wrongly, you are in soup. You can be good founders, but if you hire wrongly, you are in soup. You can be paying salaries and not getting results, even if you're a good founder, right? So firstly, give it to God for ensuring that we hire the right people. And let me also make this caveat: we don't hire people with certificates. I'm not saying don't go to school. I went to school even to an MBA level, but I'm not saying school is bad. But one of the things I've learned, maybe in the hard way, is hiring people based on competency and skill, not by certificates. Trust me, there are millions of graduates out there, but only few of them are willingly and ready to also improve on themselves. In fact, let me even shock you. The full-time staff we have started while they were in school. We used to call them ambassadors then. Started catching them while they were in school. So when they were done with school, they didn't have to look for a job. They just joined us full-time. And they're not managers. So you want to be very careful in your hiring. It's also part of your implementation strategy, which is the next one. How do you implement your financial strategy? Because so if you don't have a plan, you can't implement very well. Okay? You can't do what? You can't implement very well. Again, review as you go. There's always something we call strategy adjustment. There's always a need for you to adjust your strategy. For Oscar to be speaking does not mean that he's a perfect guy. No. What has helped us is because we've reviewed our strategy. I just told you that sometimes we have healthy arguments. Okay, we're going to build this. Somebody will say, no, I think if we build this way, it won't work this way. Okay, why don't we build this way? We'll listen to ourselves. And then we'll come to a conclusion and say, okay, for all we've discussed, what is the way forward? So you constantly review your quarterly, your monthly milestones. Is your finances in tally with what you are doing? You say that your budget for a month wouldn't be more than 200K for a small business plus salaries, but you are spending 250K. What is eating that extra money? Is it your personal expenses? Is it that you are traveling too much? Is it that you are using Uber too much? Why don't you use public transport? I mean, today I use public. So you have to ask yourself some of these truths. You're making calls for the business, but the calls is eating too much of money. What are you doing? What do you need to review? So you must review, and as you review, you ensure that you implement those major transformations. If not, nothing would work. The next is, now that you now understand what it is to be financially ready, how do you now devise your financial strategy? Now, you need to understand that there's something we call short-term and long-term. In your long-term, are you saying that these are the objectives you've set and you hope to achieve it in this specific time frame? Now, but what is making you to make that decision? What choices is the core of that strategy? Know that, are you using a complete strategy as you describe, or you are working with an incomplete strategy? Is your strategy saying that you want to increase your revenue by 80%? For example, one of the stuff we discussed this afternoon was that they gave me a target. Imagine, as a CEO, they gave me a target, and I had to listen to them. They said, boss, this is what you've done last month. This month, we want to see you achieve this. And I wrote it down and said, okay, thank you. I'm going to work towards it. They are telling me to do a 1.5%, a 1.5 improvement of what I did last month. So I have to buckle up my speed. So if the company says increase revenue by 150%, if I did maybe assumption, if I did ₦1, then I should do how much? 2.5 naira, right? So am I increasing revenue? Am I expanding to other different states? So January this year, we expanded to Abuja. We're not in Abuja until January this year. Funny enough, we have customers in Abuja, but because of the whole expensive life we used to hear in Abuja, we were just working remotely from Lagos. Every other thing we do, anytime I needed to do some service implementation, I would travel. And this year, we thought, Oscar, I can't keep traveling up and down. It's expensive to the business, and also not having a team there, it's difficult because all the Abuja deals have been based on referrals. So what we did this year was, before the end of January, we set up a mini office, more like a hub. And then we hired somebody. The person we hired was a long-time friend of mine who failed in his agricultural business. He called me and he told me his story, and I saw passion in him. But the problem with him was that he didn't have money. Money killed his snail business. And I said, okay, I have an offer for you. This is something we want to do in Abuja, but we're looking for people that can actually do this job. And for me, I love people that have failed. My team will tell you, once you come to me, you tell me you're this, then I'll ask you, have you done this before? Have you failed before? You say yes, okay, what caused your failure? Are you willing to learn? Because anybody that failed, when the person is coming back, the person is coming with a very good strategy. And this is about 5 to 6 months now. It's been doing awesome well. And what we've envisaged is what is happening. I mean, he has been in fact, he even won 2 awards, okay, just within 2 months for the business in Abuja. We're given the best tutoring agency of the year in Abuja by Federal Ministry of Education. So, I mean, he also won one again. So you can see that we just sold the vision to him, and I just took it up by fire. He even created a new product for us, DigiPoint, digital market, because that's the strength. So you can see that, are you going to be expanding to other states? Do you want to increase your market share? Are you just occupying Ajegule? Are you not seen to supply people in Kaduna, in Ogba, in Lekki Phase 1, Lekki Phase 2? Are you just only comfortable with just supplying people in Ajegule? Because that is the difference between an entrepreneur and a business person. An entrepreneur scales. His scales are different heights. A businessman is just concerned with his one shop there. He believes that everything ends in that shop. He doesn't scale. So if he wants his product in another state, he tell you he can't deliver. He's sorry, this is only where you buy my food. But an entrepreneur is saying, you can actually buy my food. I can even bring it to your office, and I will charge you an extra for it. Don't reduce your value because you want to meet costs. You can increase your costs. You can increase your sales costs, your sales price, but don't decrease your value. People will buy. I've seen people who are paying for services that if I sell in some locality, I will sell them for 10K. People have paid 100K for that because they know the value that I'm bringing. You're not overpricing them. They know the value that they are paying for. So you give them that value. The next is, how do you want to achieve it? Set your objective and targets. Devise how you will get there. Ensure that your financial strategy details your target in numbers, which involves your budgeting and projections. You should be able to know how much you need at least. If I say, okay, I want to invest in 1 or 2 people today now, how much do you need to start a business? Give me just a 1-page document on how much you need to start a business. I will see people start putting some costs that are not even meant to be there. So you need to understand the exact cost you need to start your cake business or your paint business or your shoe business or your clothes business or your food business. Also, your financial strategy must align with your operational strategy. Can't take this away. Now you've known how to devise a strategy. Let's now look at 5 steps of how you can actually make it into a reaction. Build the vision. What's your vision? My vision is to actually scale with technology, solving African problems with African solutions built by Africans. That is what I always tell people when I go up. Oh, Oscar, you need to go to UK. So I met the clients and the client say, Oscar, this is your brain and all these things you do. You help my business to grow and everything. Let's just go to UK. You can live like you. I say, no, I don't ever think so. If I will even go, is to go and learn and come back. So why? I said, because African has loads of problems. And you see, the UK you are going to, trust me, your problem will even solve your solution will even solve their problem halfway. Because you are going to develop economy that is develop solutions. So my vision I've seen is that Africa is yet to be developed. So there are a lot of problems. So I have to build my vision around it. Then define my top level objective. For now, we want to play in the health, in the educational and the agricultural space. Then plan my attack and choose my battlefield. You'll be wondering again, does this thing concern financial management? Yes. You can't be investing your attack in a battlefield that does not belong to you. You must choose your battlefield, but you must plan your attack. That will help you save costs on expenses. You're wondering, but I am selling my cake on Instagram. It is not selling. Maybe you are selling the wrong thing. Maybe you are using the wrong platform. Maybe your content is not selling for you. So you need to be able to plan how you want to attack your customers. Something we did recently, I'm not afraid to share my tactics that work for me. People that are close to me knows that if you call me and tell me, how are you doing? I will tell you everything. And I'm not scared because it is always in the hand of the executioner. We noticed that COVID-19 came in and most of our clients were almost pulling out of the service we are offering them because they cannot afford it. Salary was cut by 70% or 40%, I don't know, but Sha know that business wasn't moving the way it was moving before. Some of them were even at home for over 2 months. So I told my team, I said, why don't we just target 10K online class? And as soon as we just roll out our email marketing, come and see the rush. So money you would have made with one person for 1 million, you can use 100 persons and make them for 1 year, still make it 1 million. So we didn't lose. Now that economy is bouncing back now, they're now coming back to the usual payment. Now, if we had lost them, somebody would have taken them away from us. But we told ourselves, what must be our business continuity plan, BCP? How do we stay in check? Because the truth is, a lot of people, businesses died during these 2 months of COVID-19, where the heat was high. But I can tell you that these 2-3 months has been the most difficult month in terms of what we are building. We've seen the highest amount of interest in technology from us. So I'm asking people, are you sure that these 2 months is really terrible? So you can see that we've been able to plan who we are attacking as business people. Our battlefield is not everybody. So we've been able to choose who our battlefield are. And then we know that this is the people that we want to work with. We work with them. The first mistake for you to do is to start thinking that everybody is your customer. Wrong move. Everybody can be your customer. Everybody can be your customer. Okay? So the next again is have your reality check. Does your model work? Adjust, correct, and reposition your plan. Very, very important. Now, this is the part some of you might be waiting for. What do you need as an investment? How do you want to finance your business? Do you want debt financing or equity financing? I will explain this to you, okay? Now, debt financing is loan. Don't have a share in my business. Just give me loan. When I am ready to, when you give me the loan, we agree on when to pay you with an interest, I will pay you back. I don't advise this for people in manufacturing. I don't advise this for people who are just starting their business that doesn't have customer yet. Because when the banks or the person comes, for human beings can give you grace. But when the bank comes for you, trust me, they're not interested in what you've done. They just want their money being paid, right? But for equity financing is, the good thing about debt financing is that nobody has a share in your business. Maybe you just want to have your share to yourself. You don't want problem. But equity financing is that I want you to have a say in my business. So I will give you shares. You will give me money. You will give me ideas. You give me advisory. You give me support. You give me everything I need. We'll be partners. But I will give you so amount of share based on my evaluation. And then we can run the business together, either as an executive partner or a non-executive partner. Executive partner means that you will join me and do the business every day. Non-executive means that I'll be giving you reports. You'll be advising me on what and what I should do. So it depends on what you want, right? Then we look at financing the business. I've explained this. The advantage of debt financing is the lender has no managerial control over you. So if you don't want to be, you see, choosing any of these should be in line of your philosophy and personality. You see, I don't say any of them is the best, right? If you're the type that does not like to be controlled by people, don't go for equity financing. No. You will fight with the person. If you are the type of person that all your life you've been always in control, you don't like people telling you what to do in business. You want to do things your way, right? Don't go for equity financing, because equity financing, the person must have a say. In fact, before you do anything, you must tell the person. Again, advantage of debt funding is that your tax is also deductible. That means you are taxing whatever you borrow, which is better for you so that you don't pay all the money. The next again is it is easy to forecast expenses because loan payment do not fluctuate. If bank tell you 10% in 6 months, 1 million, even though you made 5 million, doesn't concern bank. They have told you 10%, 1 million. They won't charge you based on your profit. They will charge you based on the capital that they are giving to you. Now, but equity financing, okay, sorry, let me go to downside. You can't bet your future if you can pay the loan back. So if you can't pay the loan back, it's a problem. Now, debt is an expenses you must pay. Okay, and then it comes with a very strict conditions, and then they come with also consequences. But in equity financing, you're not paying the money back. I'm grateful to have equity investors in my business. I'm not paying the money back, but they will share the risk with me. It will give me more cash because sometimes we can do a second round of funding, if possible. The investor also will now look at a long term because the person is not part of the business. He or she will look at it's like marriage. He or she will look at the long term of what he or she is investing in you. But the downside is you are not the entirety of your company again. You must have sold some percentage of your company into the person. Again, this is the one that most of us will not see. And let me highlight it. Street governance, let me put it in red. Street governance to reporting information, such as financial statement and audit. You must be accountable. Every 3 months, you must be giving update, reports, financial statement audit, board meetings. See, you cannot work in isolation. So that's why I said, if you know that you don't want to be responding to people, please go for debt financing and do your stuff on debt. But if you know that people are not your problem, you can go for equity financing so that you can share risk with people. Normally, I take break for questions, but I've been told for my message here that I have few time by 6:10 or so I should run. But we're almost done. Now, financing your business. For me, this is what have helped me: bootstrapping, personal fund. I earlier told that I was working for 1 or 2 companies before I stopped. That is what I tell people. If you know that you don't have family and friends that can give you money in this our community, in this our environment, family are even depending on you. You know you don't have family and friends. You know some of those big Otedola and Makadenuga, they give their children money to start business. In fact, their children use their inheritance to start business. But for people like you and I, that we know that we don't have such kind of inheritance or extravagancy, you want to tell yourself the truth. You bootstrap. Bootstrap means you're starting with what you have to get what you want. Let me give an example of our business. When we started Edu Point, we started with 10,000 naira to print just card and flyers. In our first month, we had no website. We had nothing. We were just doing normal offline marketing. In our first month, our return on investment was, should I say 1,000 times? Because what is 1 million? Yeah. So we got about 1 million naira in terms of gross income. That was when we started doing websites, application. That's when we started thinking of, okay, do we need an office or not? Do we need a training center? Do we need to do this? We need to hire people. Initially, it was me, my co-founder, me and her. We were going up and down the street of Ikoyi, VI, Lekki, going to spas, going to... In fact, you need to understand, sometimes we used to make fun of it, sometimes the meeting. Those things we used to do, you know, when we have new people join us as recruits, we tell them our story. The first thing we do is to tell them our story of how we started, so that they have an understanding that you didn't inherit money from your father or your uncle to start your business. You actually started from nothing, from nothing to something. It's very imperative that you bootstrap. Bootstrap means that you are managing. You know, then I remember I was still squatting then, you know, and I was, you know, so many things you would do because you don't want to be too extravagant, you know. And then I remember those times I used to have one jacket. I go for, once a client wants us for a meeting, I have my particular jacket, I always wear it. So I wear it only when I'm going out for a meeting. So you do some of those small things you do because you need to save money. Okay? At the end of the day, when the money comes, you still will not spend extravagantly. You will spend on the things that matter because you've planned your financial strategy. Okay? Then the next is for bootstrapping. Okay, I've explained this. Then the next again is funding. So fund and grants. So I mean, last year we got over 8 to 9 grants. Yeah, different businesses for our different businesses. Yeah. So I tell people this thing: don't focus on grants to start your business. See, anytime I go out to pitch for competitions and grants, they don't just give me because I can speak. They give me because they have seen what I've done in the past 1 or 2 years. So you must have traction. Okay, every investor or every grantee or every grant or rather, or every competition you go for would always look at where have you been before, what have you done, and what are you doing now? What will you do in the future? If you tell an investor that in your first 6 months you did this amount of money, people say, okay, if you can do this, that was how I got investment from my former boss. You know, she came to my farm, you know, and she was shocked. When I left the business to do my business, you know, I was a personal assistant in the business then. And she really liked me so much because I was working very well. So when I left, really paying that, but I told her, there's this thing I want to do. I have a vision to do this thing. So I left. I never knew, she was going to have an interest in it. And after like 2 or 3 years, she said she wanted to see what I was working on. She came to my family. She was like, Oscar, you mean you did this in just 1 to 2 years? I said, yes, ma'am. How did you do it? I said, I invested my profit. I didn't make profit. I didn't do any extravagant spending. When she even saw the record of my farm from day one, all the records, that was even what even moved her. Like, she was like, you mean you keep your record from even when you were doing 50 chickens to now you're doing more than 5,000 chickens? I really want to put my money in this business. My boss didn't have to tell me to sign form. He just told me, you know what, come to my home, talk to my husband, let me invest in you. So I can tell you that investors invest in people first before your business. They want to check. You say you want investment for your cake business, right? What are you doing with the little money you have in your cake business? So those money, you must show value. You must show traction. It is then you will now start meeting angel investors. People who are willing to invest between 1 year to 5 years business. Minimum money could be $20,000 to $1 million. Okay. Now the next is, we're almost done. Sorry, I'm taking time. This is for people who want to collect debt fund. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I'm
Okay. For bank loans and debt fund, I don't usually suggest this. I don't usually advise people on this because, okay, let me get the caveat here. For 4 or 5 years, we never taken one loan. It is intentional. Even when we know that now we can take loan, we don't. I tell people this thing, don't do loans. Sorry, if you're a banker here, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you're a banker here, I'm sorry. I'm not saying bank are not good. I'm just saying that looking at the economy of Nigeria, it is not predictive. It's in abroad, you can predict the economy. Even now, because of COVID-19, economies are not predictable again. You can borrow money and start one thing, and tomorrow you are to ground zero. So please, if you know let me tell you when you need loan so that you understand it very well. If you come to me, because I will give you the loan if you want. If you come to me and say, Oscar, I need 5 million. I have somebody that needs 5,000 pairs of shoe. The person is willing to pay. In fact, we have signed an agreement. I'll fund you. That's the way. That's the way I give people loan, and that's the way banks should be giving loan. If banks are not going to create market for you, they shouldn't give you money. But I can't pay. That's my own philosophy, right? So if you know that, cake business, school business. But look at COVID-19. Just imagine somebody took a loan to start a school business. Just imagine. School has been out for over 3 months now, right? So you can see the challenges now. So before you do loan, you must be very sure, at least your risk management must be high. That if anything happens, you are getting back your working capital, which is the loan you borrow. So that, because pressure within the business is better than pressure outside the business. It is good that you are pressuring yourself to work, but when an external person is pressuring you to work, is a problem. Then you can now move to venture capital and private equity business. This is our goal in the next 2 to 3 years. We want to invest in African businesses designed by Africans for Africans. And then if tomorrow you are junior, for example, you can go into IPO. This one is for big businesses who want to be listed on the stock exchange. Key metrics. Some of the things you will need to know as a business person is financial terminologies or metrics. Revenue is the money you've gotten from the activities of a business. Revenue, okay? Cost of goods is the direct costs that you attribute on that business. I will explain. The cost of goods is, for example, if you are doing cake, how much flour, how much sugar, how much this, how much that did you buy? You can't give your cost of goods to your gate man. Your gate man is an indirect cost, right? Then gross profits is you've actually brought all the revenues that have come. Let me say inflow minus outflow. So all the income from the sales of the cake minus the expenses on the direct cost of what you've made. So that profit you've made after deducting your cost of goods is your gross profit. Now your gross profit margin is usually that margin of basically how much revenue you've made. Is it a plus or a minus? Are you going up? Are you coming down? It depends. Month to month gross profit margin can be based on profit ratio. Month 1 to month 2. You can always do that kind of mathematics. You get, so SGA is your sales general and administrative cost. So why am I bringing this into you is that as an entrepreneur, you are usually your accountant at first. You are your sales guy. You are your marketer. You are your customer care person at the beginning because you are bootstrapping. So you need to have an idea of what all of this thing means, right? But as you start growing, you start hiring people like accountants. For example, now we have an accountant, we have marketers. So as you are growing, you start hiring. But if you don't know these things, if your accountant is cheating you, you don't know. So there's a need for you to know all of these terminologies. And it's good because it enables you to know where you should tie your financial commitments, right? Okay, sorry, give me a second to check a message. I think I'm seeing messages and I need to know why it's blinking. Sorry, I've not been able to view it. Okay, I don't know why it's not popping. Okay, I have an instruction. Okay, there's, I was told we would like you to 6:30 p.m. Oh, 6:10. Oh, I've even exhausted my time. I'm so sorry. I was given 6:10, but it is 6:16. Can I have like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to just wrap up? Apologies, please. Can I have that permission? Can I have like 5 to 10 minutes to wrap up? I know we have the next speaker online. Can somebody
yes,
give me
please
permission to continue?
Please continue. Don't worry. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the
also,
permission.
you could receive questions also. It's no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I'll be very fast now. Now, there's something we call personnel expenses. This is when you are paying staff salary, staff bonuses, welfare packages. You need to know all of this. When my auditor came, we didn't do audit when we first started. Can you imagine auditing a one customer business? But when we now finally did our first audit, did our first auditing for our business, and the accountant came. The accountant said, "This is I'm not trying to flatter myself, but the accountant said this is the first business in my little years of experience that I've seen somebody keeping receipts and keeping record, at least even this exam, because their problem is that as an entrepreneur, and I think maybe I learned it the hard way. As an entrepreneur, when you start your business, you are the accountant, you are the seller, you are the marketer, you are everywhere. So you have no time, right? So if possible, when you make calls, when you buy credit, you don't even record those things down. You make work become difficult for your accountant at the end of the day to be able to reconcile your financials, right? So when she was shocked to see an Excel sheet of even recharge card money, she said, I must be a stingy person. But that is to make your job easy now as an accountant, because if you come today and I'm just giving you a round-up figure, it doesn't tell if I am making money or not. So it is good that from day one, at least, let's say some of you have made a mistake now. We're forgiving you, right? Start from today and start keeping records of your expenses. It is very, very important. Don't be amazed. Sorry, you'll be amazed that by the end of the month, what is eating your money could even be calls you are making. Calls that are not yielding you profit. So what do? You cut on your calls. I noticed that in our first 6 months of EduPoint, calls you are eating our money. One day, I just told my colleague, Lillian, we have to work on this thing. We make almost 50 calls a day. We're not getting more. No, we have to find a way. We now went into email marketing. How do we get these guys our emails? And just subscribe to maybe MailChimp or maybe an emailing platform. At least you know how much you spend per month. And then we send them emails. Those who are really interested will surely click. And then we cannot call them, because there's no point calling somebody that is not expecting your call. That now cut our expenses by 50%. Then again, we came up with another strategy again. What if we do it this way? What if we do it that way? Before you know, we hardly make more than 20 contacts a day. And yet, we still get clients. So now we realize that your real client would even call you. You won't even call your clients. But we learned it the hard way. So we have to, because we have a template for that. It was able to tell us if we are making profit or not. And keeping record enable you to show where is consuming more of your what? Your expenses, right? Are you paying more than what you are getting? Okay. Then we look at admin expenses, rent, maintenance, travel, and entertainment. I mean, you need to know that if you're not careful, You know, I told you that this year, my team said, Oscar, we have to cut down this Abuja travel for businesses. We have to get somebody there. And we noticed that by the time we do my travel for a year, because I'm going out to do the business, if we hire somebody and pay, it is cheaper than when I go that up and down. Okay? Initially, I was using moto. I was using public transport. Trust me, bosses was making hell out of it, because the truth is that when you go through that stress alone, you will just be wondering how people are coping, transiting from west to north almost every 2 days, right? So those stress, those expenses, hotel accommodation, because I don't have any home there, so I have to put up in one makeshift. And all of those, when you join them together, we saw that if we pay this person per month or per time we get a job, it is more cost effective than all of those expenses. And then we have to cut it off. And I had to agree to that agreement. Then IBDA, okay, when you start going too deep of financial management, they'll tell you of earning before interest, tax depreciation, and amortization. Don't worry, your accountant will teach you all of these things. You don't need to know all of this. What you need to know now is revenue and expenses. Revenue minus expenses is net income. That's the only thing you need to know now. Buy and sell, income and outflow. Okay. Then when you now start going deeper, you start understanding what sales productivity is. What I do every month is that I divide number of money we get by total number of employees. It tells me if the employee are doing well or not doing well. Then daily sales. At the end of the year, you divide how much you are making per day. Like some of us, if we are dividing how much we make per day as a staff, we don't want to work in that company again. Some of us will run, so I'm earning 1K per day. No. I can't be doing this. But you don't have any choice. It's something you have to hold on to until a better one comes. So I'm going to fast forward to developing a pitch deck. Yes, I would have loved to show you my pitch deck. This is even a pitch deck, okay? But I'd love to show you my pitch deck. But for time reasons, I will just highlight some of the points you need to know about a pitch deck. A pitch deck is, these days, investors don't ask for business plan. I don't know why banks ask for business plan. I don't know why. Nowadays, people don't ask for business plan. What they're asking for is a pitch deck. Pitch deck is what you would be able to tell your investor what you are solving, how you are solving it, your team, and then your financial projections. Okay? So a typical pitch deck should have a title. You should have a problem statement. What do you want to solve? You put them in PowerPoint. You have to put them in MS Word. The solution you are solving. Okay? Your business model. Are you doing a B2B or a B2C or a B2G? Are you servicing government? Are you servicing customers? Are you servicing businesses? Underlying magic, what is that thing that makes you different from the next person? Are you a cake? Entrepreneur? What do you do? Is it that your cake stays for 3 months without adding any addictive? Is that your cake is organic? I don't know, but what are those things that makes your cake better? Then your marketing sales. Be very careful how you share some of this pitch deck. So I'm going to share something with us. So you want to be very careful how you share some of your pitch deck to people. You don't share pitch deck to people anyhow. Okay? Because if I see your pitch deck, I can do what you're doing. Right? So you want to be very careful how you share your pitch deck. But at the same time, you don't also want to hide your idea because you don't know who might invest in you. Right? Then you cannot talk about your competitions. Competitions involve, you can't tell me you don't have any competition. Even myself, I have competition. In fact, some of us, the next thing we are doing is even competing the next thing that we've did before. So your competition is what will give you an understanding of how you can perform better, right? Then your management team, don't underplay this. No investor will want to look into your business without a team. Because the truth is that they want to be sure that the right team is making the right decision to put you in the right track. Then your financial projections, what you want to do in the next 2 to 3 years with the money that you're going to get. Okay? Your current startups, like I told you before, nobody will invest when you don't have traction. Somebody might be asking now, what if I have not started business? What do I tell them? Anyway, start now. So somebody came to me and said, Mr. Oscar, I want to go into poultry production like you. How do I start this thing? I said, you know what? Start. Go to Yabo. Tell Mrs. Yabo that you want to buy a crate of egg. Buy five crates of egg from her. Look for who will buy off that 5 crate from you. If people buy and buy and buy and even want more, increase your demand of 5 from Yabo to 10. Do it to a point where Miss Yabo will be asking you, who is buying all this thing from you? If you go to a point where you're not supplying 100 crate of egg or 50 crate of egg, then go and start looking for who can sponsor you to get a farm. If you go and get a farm before getting a market, you will crush even before you fly. So the guy went home. I'm sure it was bamboos. He said he never thought of this idea before, and it worked for him. And currently, what he does, he distributes eggs for now. Just distribute eggs. So he's not going to rush into setting up a farm, which is capital intensive, then start having mortality rate in his farm, chicken will be dying. No, he is buying a finalized product. All he needs to create market. Once he creates market, if he starts his farm, he can pump into that market pipeline. Then also tell your investor, why are they investing? Okay, Mr. Investor, why we are investing? Because we have the right team, because we've done the right stuff, we are solving the right solutions for the problems, and we are going to earn you back your money times 3 in XY amount of years. The investor will be like, okay. From your pitch now, I find you more dependable. And then investor invests. But before the investor will invest in you, there's something we call strategy documents, which is the second to last slide. Strategy documents. Strategy documents shows this is for you, not for the investor. It's for you. You need to have this. We have ours. It's what guides us in creating every business that we're creating. It gives you understanding of where you are playing in 3 spaces, either in the industrial overview, in a growth scenario, or in the company overview. In this overview, you need to know the industry you are playing into. Are you even in the supply chain or value chain for production? Or are you a middleman? Or are you the starter? Or are you the finisher? Or are you the middle person? It also gives you an idea in Africa. If you say you want to go beyond just Nigeria, look at the African perspective. Then if you now say you want to even now go global, look at country by country, continent by continent, right? Then growth scenario. How do you want to grow? Are you going to grow organically like we did? Or from day one, you just launch a business. You have started throwing Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Inorganic, those are inorganic growth. Will that work for you? Some people, they don't have more than 10 followers on Facebook and Instagram, but they are making millions of money every day from ads that are throwing. So what do you think will work for you? Is it ads? Is it Facebook ad, the Instagram ad? Then if that is work for you, then go and know the skill or go and hire who can do that for you well. Then are you looking forward to just locally build your business, or you're looking at international expansion? We have people in UK and US that usually use our service to learn how to speak Igbo and Yoruba. When we are building our business, we never thought about that before. But we have people, in fact, I didn't know until it happened to me. A lady from abroad called one day and said, I want my son to learn how to speak Yoruba. I was shocked. I saw the number, it's an international number. I'm like, okay. I thought it was a scam, but funny enough, it became reality that some people over abroad, they needed to learn some of the local language because their kids weren't born here. But I didn't say no to that deal. We had to use the likes of Zoom and Skype then. Then it was Skype, it wasn't even Zoom. Zoom just boosted up a bit recently, It was Skype then we used, and we took up the training. If I had not deployed technology in my business, I wouldn't have done that international business. So you don't have to travel to Dubai to do business with them. You just need to know what works for you. Is it technology? Is it social media? Is it your application? What works? What can people use in other country of your business than you traveling out there to do your business? And that's why you must look at scaling. The target market, your key growth drivers, your business KPIs, your operating model, your bottlenecks. What are the things that will give you a problem? Trust was our problem. Trust me. Private home coaching was a big problem initially. Trust, especially when you've not started before. People say you. There was a day somebody told me that. Let me even shock you. My co-founder was there. I went to a service just closed, very big church, and we went to marketing. And then we went to the door of we know he was a very big man. So we went there, good afternoon, sir. The man just said, hey, get out of my side. That day, as if somebody just naked me. Like I was feeling humiliated, but I smiled. My governor was there looking at me. I said, sir, don't you think I'm your son? The man looked at me. He said, and so what? Why are you coming to me? What do you want? I understood him. Maybe he must have been harassed before by some people, but I didn't throw it back at him. I smiled. I said, sir, but I just attended service with you. Don't you know I'm a member of this church? He said, oh. Before you know, I changed it. I said, don't you listen to what pastor was talking about? The preaching was so awesome. I only came to just share this flyer to you because I want the best for your child. The man looked at me, look at the way I dressed, look at the way I was talking. And you're like, okay, I talked to my wife about it. Do you know that man became my client? One of my best clients. So I used to smile and say, look at this man that told me I should get away from his car. Like, if I just told him, oh God, why are you talking that at me now? Are you stupid? I don't think I'm a human being. Maybe I would have lost him. But today, he's one of my favorite clients. Sometimes I move over the phone with my friend and said, there's this client I have that pushed me out, that says some kind of things. I met another woman again, in a market. We were sharing our flyers. She said that, are you sure? How am I not sure you're not one of those kidnappers that will come to people's home to do home lesson and you kidnap their children? I said, kidnappers exist in Nigeria. I didn't even know. But you know what? Can't I just give you a trial and see? If after a trial and you did not get below expectations, don't pay for my service. So she said, okay. She took the flyer home. Quickly, she went to the website. She loved the website. She called us. She said, okay, I've gone through your website. It's nice. It's okay, but I don't still trust you. How can I even trust you? Okay, I said, you know what? We're going to give you a 1-week class. If you don't like it, don't worry. You don't pay it. I'll pay the teacher. Don't pay to us. So we did 1 class, 1 week. After 1 week, she was like, teachers are very good. You know what? Let me continue. Till today, she's one of our favorite clients. So you can see that there are bottleneck of trust. You are living in a country where trust is a commodity now. People are buying it. It's very scarce. Okay? You are living in a country where people are concerned about security. My kind of business you run, security is a problem. You're living in a country where people have used a service before that is like your service that have failed them. So are you going to be one of the 100 that fails or the one that did not fail? So you are living in a country where the bottlenecks outweighs the solution. So you have to find a way to overcome them with your strategy. If not, you won't grow. You will not grow. And funny enough, those clients that are very, very difficult to get, they are usually your best clients. Go and check it. In fact, they are the ones that even refer customers to you. I have checked it. All our tough converted clients, they are usually like, I call them mothers now. They are usually those people that are even referring us today. Okay, so you don't lose hope. Are you that entrepreneur that is trying hard and people are irritating you, people are telling you cannot do it, people are telling you your business does not worth it, or people are making you feel that you're not worth it? Don't lose hope. Don't forget, I came from a company that was paying me well, and I got to meet somebody that was telling me all kind of trash that will make me feel like I'm not a human being. But I did not have to respond back. I didn't obey the law of Newton that says action and reaction are opposite and equal. No, I had to be calm. I had to be gentle. I had to smile. I had to tell him. I had to be. In fact, when I was done, my governor said, Oscar, you're a salesman. Do you know that I was there even pitching for you? The man was just insulting you. You were just there telling him the things he needs to know, the things he needs to understand. These are the things entrepreneurs need. It is beyond just making money. You need to have the ability of calming situations. You need to have good emotional intelligence. It's going to help you in scaling. If not, you lose all your customers within a short time. The last is company overview. I have these documents. I've shared it with you, no time. You need to have a company overview. What do you do as a company? Your profile. This is what you share with your new interns, with your staff. I don't call them staff. I call them co-partners. You will never hear me call them workers in the office. I call them partners because it is the only way they can take your business serious. Then the last is, how do you position your business for funding? I'm going to end with this. I use more than 10 minutes. Let me sincerely say I apologize for that. But in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to wrap up. How do you position your business for funding? Know what investor want. What does the investor want? They don't want three things, just three things. The people behind that idea, the idea itself, and how to get their money back. You see, even as an investor, I'm also after, even though I'm after investing in you as a person, I like you, I'm investing in you, I like your idea, nice idea, but most importantly is that I also need to be sure when you are paying back good capital. Because if you invest without expecting a return, then that's grant. That's grant, okay? Grant will give you money and not expect return, okay? Even if you are going to be giving them reports. They don't want to know if you make loss or not, but just report what you've done with the money we gave to you. Second is, think of your worst case financial scenario. For example, COVID-19. Let's say COVID-19 happens now. What is a worst case? So rather than thinking of the problem, what do? Think of the word solution. Is what I call business continuity plan. What do you do when there are problems? How are you able to overcome that problem? So investor would always, you always think of the worst case scenario when you're working with an investor. That if this thing happen, for example, if a high return funding comes, how am I able to use that money? If the money did not really work out what I planned, what other thing can I do to return back that trust and interest for the investor? Because the investor does not only invest once. My first investor invested twice of her money. She put in her first money, she saw the expansion, like, Oscar, you expanded, she invested again. So you want to keep gaining their trust and their capability and capacity in you. If not, because for example, my first investor, my former boss, she does not want to be involved in farm operations, but she wants to be getting reports. Okay, so you need to be sure that you are ensuring that you are giving her or you are giving the business what they want. That is the third one. To be a serious investor, you must be a serious investment. I like telling people this thing, that you can't be unserious with yourself and you want people to be serious with your investment. No. Tell me what you've done with the little money you have, how you've done it. I would love you to tell me you did this with this, you failed, but this is what you would have done if you have another chance. I like to hear those kind of stories. Then if you don't have any bad story before, love to see the fact where you are improving on yourself so that you can become a serious investor. Because I told you the first time that investor invests in people and not in business first. Later, you can start investing in people. So with this opportunity, I want to thank you all for your time and I appreciate you all for your, is it up to 1 hour? More than 1 hour, I'm so sorry. I want to use this moment to thank you all for your opportunity and I look forward to receiving your questions and I look forward to answering them from them. Thank you. Okay.
So we'll just take 2 minutes to ask some questions. Please, if you have any question to ask, you could either type it in the chat or you unmute yourself and ask the question, please. You can either unmute yourself and ask the question. We just have 2 minutes before we start up the next session immediately, please. For those who want the recording and of it, it will be sent to your emails. Please just download the link for the form at the chat section, and then the emails will send you the copies of the slide and the video recording. But if you have any questions to ask now, please unmute yourself and freely ask. Thank you very much.
Wow, no question. Wow, this is serious. I've never thought before and nobody asked me a question. Wow. Okay. If there's no question, there's no problem. I hope that you guys were able to grab all that I was able to say. But if you have anyone, feel free.
Yeah, please, Mr. Oscar, please do not leave. Even while the second session goes on, there may be questions for you to answer immediately after the second session. The second session will be short. I think it's about 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay, no problem. It's fine. Someone is asking, what if your business is 100% online? What do you do? I don't know if this is for me. I don't know. Is it for me? I guess so. Okay. That's by Mr. Kenneth Otto. So when your business is 100% online, what do you do? I mean, first of all, um, you are in line of what COVID-19 is causing already. So I can say that your business is in line of what business would be in the post-COVID era. So you're on the right track. When you say what do you do, I'm trying to understand, is it finance? Is it so you need to be specific. You can do so many things. Your business is online. You basically don't need an office, a big office. You don't need, for example, my first venture was a farm. I need to have a farm. So so it's capital intensive and the rest. So if it's online, it saves you all those costs of capital. They call it capital overhead costs. Those big costs that, just imagine setting up a big pen. You know how much it will cost. So it sort of really make me like you kind of business, online business you guys do from a laptop, even from your home. You can work and do everything. But what you do is that even though your business is online, you should ensure that you try to build a community of how you manage your communication. So one of the problems with online business is that when you have team working online, there might be a lesser commitment. And I will tell you that because, when you say online business, you can be doing somebody else's business and doing the other business together. So you might have problem with commitment, communication, and the rest. But if you put all of those things in place, for example, we have a WhatsApp group, we have a Slack group, we also even have a Skype group. So, and we do Zoom meetings almost every week to know what we have done on some clients' projects. So if your work is 100% online, I mean, you can actually work with data and the rest. So, but the fear I have is I don't really know what kind of online businesses you do. There's so many online businesses these days. So I don't really know what you do. So I'm trying to be very careful to answer specific questions. I'm just answering the general question. That if your business is 100% online, ensure that you put certain bottlenecks in check. Bottlenecks like communication, bottlenecks like commitment, bottlenecks like data issue. Sometimes, if data could be a problem, network could be a problem. So you want to be sure that you put all of those things in place. Does not mean that you don't need human being to manage your accounting. You can also do accounting in the cloud. We have a software for that, retail point. But does not mean that human beings must do your accounting. Does not mean that you will not need a marketer offline. If you are doing online, 100% online marketing, fine by you. If that's what works for you, it's fine by you. Depending on what works for you. Somebody said, how will you send us the slides? No, sir, you will send us this. Okay, yeah, I will. When and do you know you are spending too much in startup? By taking day-to-day accounting measures. So if you have your accounting in place, you would know if you are spending too much. The law of business says your costs, your revenue must be more than your cost. So if I spend 1 million naira to make money and I'm making 200 naira, I'm spending too much. I have to check it. What is eating my money excessively? Something must be eating it. I just gave you that. It was because we were able to draw our specific costs. We know that calls, data, all these things we are eating our money. Can't we use an alternative, cheaper way? So in project management, I take a course called operation research. The method we call least cost method, right? Using the least cost to get a maximum output. So you need to understand that there's always going to be a least cost method. Maybe you've thought about that. So until you start thinking of your least cost or your minimum effort to get your maximum effort or your maximum result, you will be making a lot of expenses. Someone said it takes a lot of programming to get started. and you are not a good programmer, yes, then make your programmer your co-founder. Simple. Make him commit. Tell him that you are not a programmer. You are looking for a programmer that is good, not just any programmer. Person must be good. Then give him shares. Don't be stingy. Give him shares. Tell him, you know what? I'm going to be giving you extra amount of percent for you to be a part and parcel of this business, so that we can build anything, any kind of technology. Or you can also, like for example, my CTO does not build much. He manages team that build much. So initially we are building, I was selling. Now we are managing teams that are building and selling. So initially he will build, you will sell. But as you people grow, you will have team that will build and team that will sell. You guys will be managing those teams. So you need to sell the vision. See, let me tell you, if you don't sell the vision to me, I'm not going to commit. Nobody enters into a business and say, because he's your friend. You need to sell the vision. From day zero, I was able to sell the vision to all of my co-founders, Dillian, David, and the rest in all my businesses, in all our businesses. I'm able to sell the vision to them in 5 years' time. See, join me now. In 5 years' time, we'll be doing this amount of money. We'll do this amount of stuff. And anytime I go to any competitions, I take them along with me. I always introduce them so that they have a sense of belonging, that I'm not just working, but they are also, a Maslow principle. There's something we call, I don't know how to put this now, but people want to feel that they are part of something. So it's very important that you make them, they're not just working, but they are also part of what is working. You can't just say, be my programmer, and then you go and sleep. Nothing to build. It won't work for you. So you need to ensure that while you are building, you are also committing them so that they can commit themselves fully. If you cannot pay programmer, put them in your team. Make them become co-founders and shareholders. That's the fastest way to make them commit. Okay? How do you do equity financing? If you have an idea, what is the best way to get started? Equity financing, it is difficult to get equity investment when it's an idea. Idea can be done by anybody. If you tell me that your idea is to connect doctors to patients, everybody can do it. Start it so that when you are talking to that equity investor, you are telling him, even though it is compiling the list of hospitals and talking to them of the idea you want to do for their hospitals, even though they don't have the solution, we are just telling them, do you watch Steve Jobs' story? When Steve Jobs met the first person that bought from him, Steve Jobs was not a programmer, and Steve Jobs did not even have anybody that can build a computer. He went to a company, I've forgotten the name, but I remember. It's not IBM. It's Microsoft that went to IBM. He went to a company that said, I will supply you 50 computers. This guy was not a programmer. He was not even a technical person. He now went to go and meet his friend, Steve Wozniak. He told Steve that somebody wants to buy a computer, 50. Steve started building the 50 computers. You get the point? That was how he started the business. So I always deploy the rules of Steve Jobs. You don't need to build before you sell. You need to stimulate market. You need to sell first. Once there's demand, you start building. If you're lucky, you are building, you sell, fine. But like I told you, we didn't have a website when we started. We didn't have a website. We're just selling. That we are trusted, buy from us, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then when we now have the money to build, we now start building websites, start hiring people. So don't wait. That's why I say don't be too slow to start. Don't wait until you have everything can be at the doorstep. So if an investor and you're not making any effort, they only give me an idea, you're wasting your time. You are selling your idea. Don't meet an investor when you're not prepared. Please meet them when you have concrete information of what you want to do, where you want to do, how you want to do it, what you've done. Because if you just have an idea, you are as good as the man who just have an idea but is not doing anything. Still finding it difficult to open, I think it's not meant for me. Okay, so I think these are all the questions. I'll be on mute for now so the next speaker can come on board. I'm so sorry that I took this much time. I want to thank you guys for your time. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Chike Obiora, and I'll be taking the second session immediately. Sorry, we are pressed for time. And so we may rush this session quickly. But the next two speakers coming next week will be building on this. So this session basically is focused on those who want to start their own business and probably do not know what to do or how to go about starting it. And so this session will be talking about the evolving marketplace. And then we'll be focusing on also on what has resulted in this evolution of the marketplace. That is the COVID-19 and how you are to take advantage of it or what you're supposed to do to sail the storm. And so my name is Obiora. The topic is the evolving marketplace, becoming an e-entrepreneur. Now, what is the marketplace or where is the marketplace? The marketplace is actually where goods and services are traded, either services, products for money or for a form of satisfaction. And it's a place where people exchange their demand and supply. So you go to a market if you have something to buy or you need something, or you also go to the market if you have something to sell. Then now the marketplace has, I don't know, please, can anyone, if you can see my screen, please, if you can't see my screen, let me know, please, in the chat section so that I'll know those who can see it. And if you have any technical issues, you could be treated immediately. So please, can everyone see my screen? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. I'll proceed. All right, that's good. Now, there are different types of markets, very many types of markets. For instance, if you see on the right side of the screen, there is the floating markets of Southeast Asia. This is a marketplace where people come together in their boats to buy and to sell. So they come with their produces from their farms, they come with their goods from their homes, and then they sell it and they receive money back. So in history, markets evolved into towns and settlements. People formed cities from markets. And so wherever there was a concentrate of people, markets were formed. And then the market began to form a town. Market evolution. Now, market evolution created towns. But now, in this present dispensation, we are seeing a situation in which a condition is formed. And that's the corona. The lockdown and the sit at home has actually changed the face of market. It has changed the face of business. You would also agree with me that several businesses have shut down in the past 2-3 months. Several people have had their salaries slashed. Several people have totally lost income. Meanwhile, some people who resumed jobs in the month of February, March are now without jobs or employment. And so a certain condition has created a new form of existence. That's what the lockdown has created. The lockdown has forced a lot of people to sit at home. And then we have now begun to use or consume a lot of data. Data has now become our source of air. The social media platforms have now become the meeting points. Remember also, please, I was supposed to state that earlier, markets are forms of meeting points. In the olden days, people gathered at a meeting point to discuss issues of life. And when they gathered in those meeting points, markets were formed. Because in those meeting points, people will come with their demands. People will come with ideas. People will come with visions. People will come with issues that they want to discuss or things they want to sell. And in those meeting points, markets were formed. So markets became now in this new dispensation, many people are no longer meeting in physical locations anymore. Many people are no longer meeting in physical places anymore. You could also agree with me that many companies and associations that used to have meetings once a month, most especially like churches, now fellowship centers and churches have compulsorily begun to have services online. And so the new meeting place is no longer a physical structure. The new meeting place has become a virtual place. And so as long as people meet in a virtual or in any place, whether it be physical or virtual, people will come with needs. People will come with goods. People will come with a lot of cobwebs in their cupboards. People will come with things they want to sell. People will come with what they want to divide. And so the new marketplace is no longer, the evolving marketplace is no longer the physical structure or where I have to be in Lagos Island. I have to go to Yaba Tejo Show. I have to go to one or two places. It's a virtual meeting place. The new meeting place is a virtual meeting place. Of recent, we had to buy some bed sheets and blankets. And then my wife has a friend who was actually dealing in duvets, bed sheets, and blankets before now. And because Yaba is not far from us, we thought that we always agree that we could always go to Yaba Tejo Show to get our bed sheets and blankets because it's not far from us. And then the lockdown came. And then with a little bit of the lifting up, we knew that it was not going to be very safe to go into the market, the physical marketplace. So what did we do? We contacted that friend that actually sells bed sheets and blankets online. Now that friend who sells bed sheets and blankets online became a supplier of commodity in a virtual marketplace. Now she was not the only one, we were not the only ones who didn't patronize her before. But because of the present lockdown, a lot of people began to patronize her. And so the present condition has resulted in a complete change of the situations we find ourselves in today. Now, as population also grew, the marketplace grew. So as the population online grows, the virtual online marketplace will also grow. So wherever people, remember this please, wherever people will gather to meet, a marketplace is formed because there is an exchange of either goods, services, ideas, or interests. And so we have a situation in which the market space, the virtual space online in Nigeria is growing tremendously. An example also, foreign example is in Zoom. In Zoom. Within the past 8 months, Zoom's market share, Zoom's population size of users have skyrocketed to almost 500%. And so Zoom has clocked an income they never envisaged they will have until the next 3-5 years. So Zoom has had its site crash many times within the past 6 months because the population size they envisaged for, they had crossed it. And so we see the population size in the virtual marketplace that has just evolved, skyrocketing, growing in numerous folds. So as the online general market grows, so develops the individual marketplace, your smartphone. And so this is where we're coming into the social media space concerning business. Now, while the marketplace, the physical marketplace was a structure, the present day evolving marketplace is virtual in the air. The medium to contact that marketplace is your smartphone. And so from your smartphone, you could start, execute, and prosper your business. Now we're looking at marketplaces. I divided the market space, the virtual market space, into two halves. We have the e-commerce, and then we have the private marketplace. Now with the e-commerce, an e-commerce site is where third party posts or display their products and services on a marketplace or a virtual platform hosted by a primary source. And so we have 10 prominent there are lots of primary sources in Nigeria that have created e-commerce platforms. The number one leading primary platform in Nigeria right now is Jumia. As at last year, within the past 2 years, Jumia had actually gone bankrupt, right? Jumia had gone into negatives and all their partners had complained on the loss. Then came in the coronavirus. Then came in the lockdown. Jumia's interest and profitability has skyrocketed. And so while some of us may be crying or weeping or being sorrowful, maybe we may have lost loved ones. I am very sorry about that. Or maybe you may have even lost your job or had your salary slashed. But please bear in mind that while things may be difficult for others, in a storm, it is beneficial for others. And so I should be asking you, do you want to be amongst those who will continue to weep? Or do you want to be among those who will ride the storm? And so we see 10 prominent e-commerce sites: Jumia, Konga, Payport, VConnect, Kara.com, Printivo, OLX, Gigi, Obiwizi, and Ajebo Market. Some of these platforms sell products. Some of these platforms sell services. Some of these platforms offer you opportunities to transact or transfer cash. Now, these are 10 e-commerce platforms. Now, on the other hand, we have the private marketplace. That is your own space with which you have you control your own resource. You determine what you want to sell. You become either a supplier or a buyer. And that's what happens on the WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and other online meeting platforms. Zoom, Jitsi, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp conferences. A lot of people are now selling services even on these online platforms. The other day, someone advertised for a conference of which you will pay 1,000 naira to be a part of. And in that conference, services and counseling was going to be exchanged. And so those, the meeting platform, the online meeting platform became a market space where payment was made, and then they had to come on this platform in order to receive their resource. So we have the e-commerce and we have the private marketplace. Now, the e-entrepreneur, we're coming down to us personally, individuals. Now, this is one, an entrepreneur actually is one who has a supply or owns a business on the e-commerce. That's the e-entrepreneur. E-entrepreneur. I'm not just talking generally about an entrepreneur now. I'm talking about an e-entrepreneur. An e-entrepreneur is one who has a good to supply or who has a product to sell on an e-commerce or a private market platform, and is one also who sells this product for profit and satisfaction. So basically, he's into business for profit and satisfaction. He or she is one who manages and takes on the risk involved in the business. If you were here at the beginning, Mr. Oscar spoke about the difference between a self-employed person and an entrepreneur. There are basic differences between an entrepreneur and a self-employed person. One of the differences has to do with mindset. While the self-employed may be thinking about bills and curtailing the form of risk he will take, an entrepreneur is thinking globally. An entrepreneur is taking risk. He's stepping out. He's ready to bear the risk of the business because his vision is on a wider scale. And so in this graphic display I have, you see a lot of us are maybe like employees, but one person is taking a leap differently. And so that entrepreneur has a vision, and his vision usually is to provide solutions, not just solutions for himself, but solutions on a global level or on a communal level. And so if you're with me that has been affected, I was actually affected badly by the lockdown, please, sorry. I was affected badly by the lockdown. Why? I had one or two businesses that I had taken up in February, March. And then the lockdown shut that side of the business. And so it may have happened for many of us on this place, but I need you to think this way. Why do you want to go into business? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? What's the relevance of being an entrepreneur? One, you may have an idea. You do not know how to get there. Or you need money. But note this, the entrepreneur's mindset is about solving problems on a communal level. So if you have an idea, what we want to try and do is teach you how to take off with this session. Teach you how to start off with this session and how to stand your business. Good. Now, so we come to this. I don't know what to do, or I know what to do. Listen, please. Your enjoyment, whatever you enjoy doing, anything you enjoy doing is as a gift to you. Whatever you enjoy doing could be your talent, it could be your skill, it could be anything at all. You need to learn to make your enjoyment productive. And whatever you do that produces results, you need to turn it into an enjoyment. How do you do that? That's where we're going to go to now. But note this, whatever you enjoy doing, you need to learn to package it and sell it. Package it and sell it. Now, you may like to sleep. There are lots of people that love to sleep. Sleep could be an enjoyment for you. Watching movies could be an enjoyment for you. How do you sell sleep? How do you sell watching movies? There are various ways. Because it's an enjoyment, you need to learn the nitty-gritty about it. Have you ever learned the results from sleeping well? Have you ever learned the results from not sleeping at all? Have you ever learned the results from not sleeping at all? And so if you learn what it takes, if you love sleep, learn the details of sleep. And then you will be surprised that you can sell sleep as a product. You could be invited to a platform such as this and be told, come and speak to us about sleep. What are the benefits of sleep? How do you sleep properly? How do you position yourself in order to sleep healthy? Because there's a way to sleep, and you could be sleeping 5-6 hours and you will not realize that you're not having deep sleep enough to result in your body healing and rejuvenating itself. And so whatever you enjoy doing, you can turn it into a form of productivity. Now, setting up your own success from your own enjoyment. Please, at this stage, I need you to just note this. Write down 5 things you enjoy doing. Whatever you enjoy doing, please write it down. Those 5 things you enjoy doing can be productive. Those 5 things you enjoy doing can become your money spinner. Do you love talking? Do you love reading? If you love reading, you could even become an editor. You could edit stories and be paid for doing that. So whatever you enjoy doing, please write down 5 things you enjoy doing. And because from those 5 things you enjoy doing, you're going to learn how to make them productive, how to take them online and become an entrepreneur or a self-employed individual. Now that's where we come to the 5 P's of business. The 5 P's of business. Now from those things, those 5 things you enjoy doing, we're going to learn how to make those 5 things productive for you. When I mean productive, I mean bearing fruits. I mean receiving an income from it, from those 5 things that you enjoy doing. What is the first 5 things? 1, product, the product. That's that service or product which you enjoy your benefit from, which you love. 2, the people. This is talking about who is your target market? Who are you supposed to sell it to? 3, the place. The place, where are you supposed to sell it? Remember, in the place, we are now talking about this digital space. Remember, that's the evolved market. The digital space is the new market. 4, at what price should you sell it? 5, how should you promote your business? How should you promote your business? And so you'd see here, I have a graphical display to show that whatever you start, whatever you enjoy doing, it is not always easy. So do not think that because you start, by next week, it should be profitability. Do not think that because you start today, by next month, it should be standard and it should be prosperous. Remember, our first speaker also said that in the first 2 years of starting a business, most businesses crash. I have started businesses that have crashed in the first 1 or 2 years. I even own a restaurant that had crashed, right? I started the restaurant in 2016, 2017. And by this 2018, 2019, I'm contemplating, I had to rent out more than half of my space. And so most businesses often face that, but because you're not able to reach the finish, does not mean you are not making progress. Do not think because it fails that you're not making progress. One of the reasons why it fails is so that you will learn and make a better progress out of it. Now let's take 5 people. I want to take 5 examples of 5 different people. I want to use 5 different people as an example for this five P's that I'm talking about. Ebenezer is a barber, right? And to tell you the truth, these it may appear as examples, but I actually know people that are into these 5 businesses, and I picked them for a purpose. Ebenezer is a barber. Atorishe loves plaiting hair. Bemi loves to cook. Funke is a teacher. Toby is a vulcanizer. Because of the lockdown, he has had little or no form of business to do. So how do we turn these 5 different things which they are skilled at, which they enjoy doing, into money spinners or into a business? So Bemi loves to cook. How does Bemi's cooking become an income for her? Funke is a teacher. She normally teaches in class. How does it become a money spinner for her? Toby is a vulcanizer, and there is no business for Toby right now because people were hardly driving cars in this period. And then Ebenezer, who is setting up his barbing business, how is he going to ensure that his business will be very profitable in the next 3 months to 6 months? Good. So we go to the first P, start up small. The first P is product. Now you must have a product. You must have a product people need. That's whatever you enjoy doing. Note this, whatever you enjoy doing, there are people that also enjoy doing it also. Whatever service you enjoy receiving from, there are people out there who love those services also. So one, you need to know the product and the service that you want to sell. It could be your talent, it could be a skill, it could be something you are trained at or that you love doing. Now you need to work your talent and skill. These are basic points, please, I need you to focus on. Those 5 enjoyment things, you need to work on it. You need to formalize those enjoyments and you need to learn to package it. So whatever you love doing, is it watching movies? Is it now learn how to watch movies from the critic point of view? I know someone in Nigeria, he's paid to criticize foreign movies. So he's part of a guild. He's part of a foreign guild and he's paid. So they send him movies before it is released and then he watches it and he criticizes it. And whatever he says or whatever statements he makes, it is sent back to the movie editor who works on it. And he's paid for every part of the movie production he plays. He doesn't know how to make movies. All he just does is he loves to watch and criticize movies. And then there is another one who makes comments online. And then he's paid to make comments. Now, people even pay him to get a rotten comment. And so it's funny when people have to pay you to do what you enjoy doing. Now, there are people. People is who are you going to sell your enjoyment or your skill or your talents to? You also need to know that it's part of the training process. You need to know who and who needs your skill, who and who needs your talent. Now, that's the next level. You need to know who your promoters and your champions are. Your champion is those people who will sell your business for you. Let's say you service A. A has the access to meet B, C, D, and E. Meanwhile, your own access is just B. So you need to know who amongst Bs are your champions. That when you service B appropriately, B can take your markets to F, G, and L, K. And so that's what you need to know. Now, you need to also know who needs what you enjoy doing. Where are such people? And how do I get access to these people during this period of a lockdown? Or now that the lockdown has been slightly lifted, how do I have access to this market? Now, with these questions, Ebenezer, remember Ebenezer is our barber. Remember Bemi is our who loves to cook. Funke is our teacher. And Toby is our vulcanizer. Toby, who is the vulcanizer, needs to ask himself, okay, before now, who are my customers? Okay, Toby's customers are those who have cars. Where are they? How can I meet them? How can I have access to them? Those are the kind of questions that Toby and every other person needs to ask themselves. Bemi, who loves to cook. Who are my customers? Okay, now in this period, there are many people in this period who may not know how to cook. or who, because of the lockdown, I came across a lady, right? And she said for the past 3 months that they've been in lockdown, she's tired. She doesn't want to eat her food anymore. I had to ask her, are you pregnant? She now said, no. And I said, how come you don't? She said, I have constantly eaten my food 2 to 3 times daily in the house, that I am tired of my own food. I said, okay, so how do you want to do? She says, I am looking for who to hire to supply me cooked food. She doesn't mind cooking for her family, but she wants to eat something different. And so that's how there are many people like that. And meanwhile, Gbemi loves to cook. But Gbemi does not know how to access this demand. Gbemi can cook and she has a product to sell. Funke is a teacher. Funke's school is on break. Funke's school is on lockdown. Schools have not resumed and may not likely resume till about September, November, I don't know. But now, how does Funke make an income for her family? How does Funke reach out to her students that are at home? Now, Funke needs to know who the people she's going to be selling to. So now you start with your immediate contacts around you. You start with your immediate mobile phone and your Facebook contacts, and you start with your family members. These people you are starting with could be your bees. They could be your champions. They could be your promoters of your service. Now, how do these 5 different people, Atorishe that likes to plait hair, Toby that is a vulcanizer, Funke that is a teacher, Gbemi that loves to cook, and Ebenezer that is a barber. Please bear in mind that these 5 different enjoyment skills or professions I just mentioned actually need physical places before the lockdown. For you to barb your hair, you have to go to a barber shop. For you to get education, you need to go into the classroom. For you to have your car tires fixed, you need to drive down to the vulcanizer. For you to get food, you need to probably drive down to an eatery, or you hire a cook that will be with you indoors. And so now the marketplace has evolved. Why? Because the lockdown has changed things. How do I take advantage of this lockdown? So that's the creation of the new marketplace, which was existing before, but remember, it's evolving because population is migrating there. And remember, from the beginning, we stated that where the group of people meet, a market is formed. And so now the virtual market has become the place to which you sell your goods and services. Now, there are some three points that I need to list out now. Facebook, Instagram posts, you need to take advantage. How does Toby, a vulcanizer, take advantage of these social media posts? Remember, you need to drive down to a vulcanizer. And so that's where the place comes in. The marketplace is virtual. How do these 4 or 5 different jobs I have mentioned, how do they take advantage? How do they meet at the marketplace? Now, they may not be able to execute their service in the marketplace, but then they can promote their business in the marketplace. That brings us to promotion. Now, they can promote their business in the marketplace. How does Toby do that? 1, you will bear in mind that I do not know if it depends on who has cars here. In the estate where I stay, many people's tires have gone down. Why? Because the cars were parked for 3 months. In the estate where I stay, a lot of people need to change their tires. Many of them need to buy new tires because their tires could have expired. What if Toby went on Facebook? What if Toby went on WhatsApp and promoted the fact that I could do home service? I could bring a small machine connected to electricity and have your tire pumped. I could bring a new tire to meet you in your house. You don't need to go to your house. I could go to the market where tires are sold, take the pictures of tires for sale. Remember this, Toby does not need to have a tire of his own. I started a business in May. It's called Gadget Roads. Gadget Roads, I started Gadget Roads in May. Now, Gadget Roads focuses on IT devices and electronics. I realized that as many people were affected by the lockdown, they needed to do a lot of homeschooling. They needed to teach their children. And so they needed computers. They needed internet tablets. And so that business services that segment of the market. I started the business and I began to advertise on WhatsApp and on Facebook. That my advertisements on WhatsApp and Facebook, right from May here, has shot up the demand for and my supplies of laptops. I actually sell Tokumbo and brand new laptops. Right now, I have partners. I do not import the laptops myself. I may not have the capital to bring in that quantity of laptops, but I created relationships from people who bring in this quantity of laptops. Now, but the funniest thing is, these people bring in the quantity of laptops and it's locked in their shops and their warehouse. They do not have the contacts I have. They do not have the market because they are used to the physical marketplace, Computer Village. And so what do? I advertise the wares, the computers and the electronics on my WhatsApp page. I advertise it on my Facebook. I created a business for that purpose, and the business is thriving on that purpose. And so I go, when people place order, I go to the marketplace, to the physical marketplace, pick up the goods to supply my people, to supply the people that have placed order for it. Do you understand that? So this entire 5 Ps are networked together. You need to know that from this online marketplace, you can create demand for your products. From this online marketplace, you can create the virtual marketplace for your services and your enjoyment. Now it comes to fixing the price. Sorry, I'm rushing because of time. These slides will be sent to everyone and we could receive questions afterwards. Now, price. You need to fix an appropriate price. Note this, your price must cover your costs. Your price must cover your recharge. Your price must cover the price or the cost of getting the goods. Your price must also cover logistics, because profit is key to remaining in business as an entrepreneur. Profit is key. Why is profit key? Because the entrepreneur actually starts the business for, please, I'm taking you a bit back, for what? For profit and satisfaction. For profit and satisfaction. So because the business was started for profit and satisfaction, your price must be able to cover all this, but your price must not be too much that you will drive people away. Now, promotion. I want to come on to the digital marketing now and how to promote your goods. Every service and enjoyment that you have, that you can sell in a marketplace or you can advertise. Remember, you may not be able to, you may not have access to the e-commerce platforms like Jumia, Konga, but you have a product in your house you want to sell. I could have a car in my house I want to sell. Bemi, Atorisha that plaits her hair, that loves plaiting hair. She has not received any money in the past 3-4 months. And she has a service she can sell. Bemi has food she cooks, she can sell. What they need to do is advertise in the new marketplace. Advertise, take advantage of WhatsApp, take advantage of Facebook, take advantage of Twitter, take advantage of Instagram. Advertise your service, advertise your enjoyment, advertise your product, what you do on the social media space. Advertise in the new evolved market. You could even be a lawyer, for crying out. You could be a lawyer also. How does the lawyer make an income in this shutdown? Do you know in this shutdown people were arrested? Do you know in the shutdown people faced court cases? Why not go on WhatsApp and advertise your services? I know there may be a law to this, a caveat concerning advertisement for lawyers, but you could start your WhatsApp business. With WhatsApp business, you could list out your duties and responsibilities in WhatsApp business. You could list out your services and what you render, and someone could see it. You could, like, for instance, there is a doctor trending on Twitter. I think is a doctor, I can't remember what, they're medical professionals trending on Twitter. And all they do that they've been doing in the past 3 months lockdown, they've been offering a lot of counseling, a lot of health guidance for people, instructing them on what to do. Now, those doctors have been contacted privately. Now, because as a doctor, if the person puts up on Twitter, sleep well, eat well, and drink well, you could find somebody who goes through Twitter and says, oh, I've not been getting enough sleep. And the person contacts him directly, or even on the group chat and says, I've not been getting enough sleep. And he says, okay, call this number. And he calls this number. And so professional relationship is created. So professional services are rendered. That's for a medical doctor. So Toby A. for Organizer can go on his WhatsApp. He can go on Facebook and advertise and say, I repair tires. I can get you brand new tires. I can get you Tokumbo tires. And what does he do? He takes the pictures of tires he has, 14 rim, 15 rim, 16 rim, 18 rim. He may not even have these tires to himself. He could go to a tire dealer and say, Oga, I want to advertise your tire. How much will you give me? This is how much I can pay. Blah, blah, blah. And create that partnership. He takes the pictures of the man's tires and he uploads it online. He uploads it on his Facebook. He uploads it on his WhatsApp. I am in my house and my tire is flat. I need a brand new tire, or I need a Tokumbo tire. And I see somebody post up on Facebook. I see somebody post up on Instagram, buy tires. What do? I contact him immediately. Can you supply me 3 tires? At what price? Okay, I buy it outside at 8.5. How much can you give me? Okay, because I am bringing it to your house, instead of 8.5, I will supply it to you for 9.5 for cost of logistics. And then cost of installation is now different because I am going to come and you can decide. I can supply to you, you go to another place and change it. Or I can supply to you and change it. And I will supply to you and change it for 12,000 naira. Now, the man now thinks, okay, if I go outside to do these tires myself, I may be doing it for 9,000 or 10,000 naira. But now, how can I do it? I can't even move the car out of my compound. And so you see, Toby creates a market for himself from the new marketplace. Also, Atorishe, who loves to plait hair, Atorishe can also advertise that she does home service. She could do home service and say, all right, we will come because we'll take a picture of herself plaiting hair. Remember, Atorishe is this. Atorishe could take this picture of herself plaiting hair and instead be wearing a face mask like Ebenezer is wearing a face mask. And Ebenezer can say, okay, I will do home services because of this lockdown. I can come and shave you. I can come and barb your hair for this fee. If it will cost 300 naira to barb hair, if you walk down to the barber next door. If Ebenezer advertises on Facebook, packaging is also key in promotion. If Ebenezer packages himself on Facebook, packages himself on WhatsApp and says, I can come to your house to barb you for 1,000 naira or even 1,500. And then he puts up a picture like this, puts up face mask, puts up apron, puts up different things that he's going to bring. You yourself will be wondering, wow, I think I'll be working with this guy because he's very hygienic. And so packaging is key in promotion. That's promote your packaging. So whatever you love doing, you could package it. You could, whatever you love doing, whatever is your enjoyment, whatever is your skill, learn it. Think about your market, the people you need to sell to. How are you going to sell it? Where is the place you are going to showcase your product, which is the evolving market space, which is the virtual place? Put an appropriate price, then showcase it in the marketplace. Broadcast on social media handles. Be clear and concise. Be consistent with your posts. Boost and advertise your page. Give freebie and promotional service. If you remember the first speaker, Mr. Oscar, said, how did they advertise? How did they say? They said the first lesson that they take is free, right? And that if you are not happy with their service, they would leave and they wouldn't charge you. But because that's a promotional package, it means that if I use them, if I am not happy, they can leave. But it also means that he's confident in the service he's rendering. And so you could apply such promotional packages to your products or your service that you are going to be selling. Now, you need to be standard with your price and be considerate of others. And on social media, be consistent with your posts. Be consistent with your posts. Boost your posts. do adverts and promotions. Take advantage of times and seasons. An entrepreneur takes advantage of times and seasons. If everybody is crying, yes, you may cry with them in the initial beginning, but wipe your eyes and now tell yourself that there is money to be made. There are problems to be solved. Life must go on. And so you must learn to take advantage of the times and the seasons that you are in. An entrepreneur takes advantage of times and seasons. Don't sit down and say, oh, I can't, I want to do. How can I do? Those are steps to success. Try, take the step, move up, move up. How can I do this? I'm going to try. I can do it. I did it. Remember, it starts with knowing your enjoyment. What do you enjoy? What do you have a skill in? And what do you like doing? Get to work. Keep working on it. That's the consistency I said here. Be consistent with your posts. Advertise every day with your WhatsApp status. Post your status every day. Post throughout this week. I wanted to concentrate because I have several other businesses I'm doing and I'm engaged in. And so gadget trolls, that's even one of the difference between a self-employed person and an entrepreneur. A self-employed person, if you go down, the business goes down with you. If you die, the business dies with you. That's for a self-employed person. But an entrepreneur creates a process. And so we should all think of growing that small business. Think of moving from the level of being self-employed to being an entrepreneur. So throughout this week, gadget shows, I didn't post anything concerning the laptops and the electronics. I didn't. Why? Because I had a lot of other businesses I was engaged with. And so because I put that post and those promotions on hold, business was on hold, which should not be. And so I should now start to rebrand my mind from moving from the segment of being self-employed to being an entrepreneur. And so I need to get to work concerning it. I need to keep working. I shouldn't stop. And then the top is what? Success. So it's consistency. Take advantage of this virtual space, this private virtual space. Take advantage of it. I listed them, this virtual space, your WhatsApp, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn. Take advantage of it, and on this private marketplace, advertise, broadcast, boost your services. Let the world know what you do. Thank you. Please, if you have any questions, I will take them now. Thank you very much. Please, are there any questions? Please, are there people still here? Feel free to ask any questions, please. Yes, sir. Mr. Tony Epele, you want to ask questions, sir?
Oh, no. I just want to get onto the phone.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
I want to ask.
Yes,
I want to ask a question. We are talking about COVID now, and we are talking about going online in most of our businesses now. What about if at the end of the day things goes back to normal? Because it's at times the events like influenza has happened before, and then it got to the stage whereby it went back to normal. People want to do most of their businesses offline. So let us say at the end of the day, they find vaccine and they're able to conquer or combat the COVID. And what do you advise? For the future that went back to normal, went back to more offline after the whole issue?
Now I would like to address something. When those influences happened, or those global pandemics, which is about close to 50 or 100 years ago, right? it created the new normal we had before our own lockdown. And at those global pandemics, there was actually, I don't think the web or the internet or the virtual space is as rampant as it is right now. And so, because we were not born in those times, we do not know the trend it created. We grew into the trends that we have right now. And so, the trend that created, how do we know if it will stop? That's what the question you're asking. How do we know if things will return back to how it was before? And so I'm going to ask you this question. Sorry, I'm going to be using the question to answer. The elevator, electricity, the mobile cars, the mobile phones, everything was created because there was a problem that needed to be solved. For instance, buildings were tall, and then people were wondering, how do they get to the top of the building? And so the elevator was invented. People were in far distances, and they wondered, how will they communicate? The phone was invented. And then it became time for the mobile phone. And so situations and problems on maybe lower scale have created inventions and innovations. And so crisis is often the catalyst for change. Problems are often, the problems spur growth. So things have become, and whenever there is an invention or whenever there is a new beginning, it treats a problem of the past. And so, yes, COVID may have created a new modern or evolved a new modern market. Would people return back to pain? Would people return back to struggle? You get to a building and you realize you want to climb, you want to get on the elevator. If the elevator is there and the staircase is there, you must have an extra reason to want to use the staircase. It could be, okay, I choose to use the staircase because of health. I choose to use the staircase because the population waiting to use the elevator, the queue is much. But for no reason at all, you may decide not to use the staircase, that you want to wait because you know why? Using the elevator is easier. Picking up your mobile phone and calling the person is easier than going to see the person. And so you'd realize now with the businesses or the enjoyment you take advantage with in the market space, that people are already using your services freely. They would equally ask themselves, do I want to go through the pain, or do I just want to also have the thing easy for me? And so would Nigeria return back to how they do things before? Tell you the truth, I don't know. But what I know is people will rather choose the easier route and the shortcut towards doing business and getting an income. Before now, a lot of people did not know they could work from home. Before now, you have to come to office. That was how Nigeria was. But all of a sudden, new systems have been created where people can now work from home. Now, people want to see some form of work done. They want to know that, okay, before I pay you a salary, what have you done? So Nigeria has changed from, let's just come and sit down in the office after our salary. It's no longer like that. It's now, what have you done to warrant this pay? So even when businesses will return back, entrepreneurs will ask themselves questions and say, would I just keep throwing my money like that? If you can work from home, if I can pay you on part-time and I can save so income, why don't I take advantage of it? So will business return back to how it was before? I don't know. But what I know is human nature takes advantage of the easiest and the shortcut towards doing things. Felicia, please, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me see if there's any question posted. Any more questions, please? Time is far spent, so we could round up. Does anyone have any more questions, please? Is there anyone else here? Okay. Please, next week, will be beginning at 3 p.m. Next week will be 3 p.m. Sorry that we spent so much time. It was because the first speaker wasn't going to be available till late. Next week will be at 3 p.m. We'll be starting off at 3 p.m. for next week. So please feel free. Mr. Oscar is also here. If you have any questions for Mr. Oscar Obiora, the first speaker, please can you ask? Mr. Oscar, please can you unmute yourself, please? So Mr. Oscar is also online. Please, if you have any questions for him from the first and the second, sessions, please feel free to ask. Mr. Oscar, please, do you have any word you'd like to share before we finally round up?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Firstly, I want to appreciate you. I learned a lot. Was inspired more. Practical examples you used for the listeners and the learners. Also want to thank you all for your time, and I deeply appreciate the time you guys allotted me to share my little word of experience. Just want to encourage you guys to keep it up. I know most people are bamboozled by all we have said. So most times when questions are not coming like this, I totally understand. Most people are trying to regurgitate and trying to ruminate what they have learned today. But I hope that as you guys keep pushing forward, I was told that this training still continues even upper week. So as you guys keep pushing forward, I understand and I believe that the listeners or the learners will be getting clarity. Clarity doesn't come in a day. I want to also sort of commend you guys to keep up the good job. It's not easy to be online for 2 hours, looking at the data consumption rate and all. So out of all odds, you guys still are online to ensure that you partake in this sharing. So keep it up, keep pushing. The sky is a starting point, and don't give up. Business is difficult, but what is more difficult is not knowing how to manage that business. So you are already on the right track to a successful business career. And if you are a staff or if you are a worker that you are hoping to become an entrepreneur tomorrow, just want to encourage you that whatever you do, just do it very well. And with God on our side, as God has always been on our side and we've always been on our side, and He will surely perfect our ways and ensure that He makes our road be easy to make our journey as we move ahead. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Please, can I quickly ask you one question? Just a quick one. Why did you stop your business? Is it because it failed?
Why did I
Is
stop?
it me?
Yes, Mr. Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar, yeah. Where did I stop my word?
Why did you stop your? Is it because it failed?
Why did I stop? I didn't get the last word.
Failed?
Why did I stop my
Why
word?
did you stop your business?
No, it's still on. It's still on. It didn't fail.
Okay.
It's still on. It's still on.
Okay. Because it didn't talk about it again. Okay, sir.
Yeah, so I was taking a journey through 2016, 2020, and because of the time constraints, there are certain things I wouldn't want to say, but it didn't stop. It's just that we had certain challenges. I think Agrobrand was the first learning point for me. I'd never done business before. That was my first business. So we made all the mistakes in our first year. But accountants will always tell you that you are forgived. You'll be forgiven in your first year of business. But if you continue to make that same mistake, you'll not be forgiven. So with the challenges and with the problems we encountered in our first year, we were able to manage it from the second year till now. It's still fully functional. Funny enough, I hardly go to the farm. Those days, I spent almost all the days in the farm. So it's part of those things you also need to create, system and structures. There are times when you will grow something and it will outlive you. I have a farm manager, I have a couple of staff, and I have people that manages day-to-day activity. My job is just to oversee what is going on because our new ventures is taking my whole time. So like I said, I heard when Mr. Chike was saying that he didn't post and nothing happened. I'm sure, with time, he would. It's not easy to build a system and a structure because, these days we have most people that want to work, but most people want to earn more than what they want to work. So that's why I say you need to also involve God. We've had good workers. It's not easy, especially when it comes to farm. When you are the owner of the farm and you're not around, things happens a lot at your back. Theft, chicken will die, they'll tell that chicken, they will steal chicken until chicken die. But, maybe again, God has blessed me with trusted people and the way I also treat them. Like I said, treat your staffs as partners. Don't treat people as if they are working for you. Don't use the slave to master mentality. What you eat, let them eat it. What you wear, let them wear. What you do, be open to them. So that if anybody wants to harm you, God will fight for you. But if you are treating them like a second class and you're doing something first class, they are watching you. They know a sincere heart. And if you're not sincere, trust me, people won't be sincere to you. So it didn't fall. It is the business that gave birth to other business. In fact, I don't joke with it. Agroband was the eye opener for other businesses. Everything we do now in our business, we always refer back to Agroband playbook. That is where all the lessons were learned. Imagine starting a business from scratch by yourself, a farm business, and within 2 years, you grow into a very huge capacity. In Nigeria, it doesn't come like that. Odds will surely frustrate you. We have problem with retailers, problem with sales guys, problem with people owing you money. So all of those things, you're going to learn that. But if you now do another business and you are still making that same mistake, then something is wrong. So that's it. So nothing really happened to it. It's moving very, very well and I'm very fine. Yeah.
So everyone, we would, if there is no other questions or comments, we would be rounding up here to continue again next week, Sunday. Please bear in mind the time is 3 p.m. next week, Sunday, 3 p.m., not 5 p.m. Next week, Sunday, 3 p.m., not 5 p.m. Please, we would also appreciate your feedback. You could either send your feedback or via email or something. We would appreciate that. We thank you all for joining in today. And may God bless you. May God increase you. And may God help you to become entrepreneurs. May God help you to change those talents and gifts. Those talents and gifts He has blessed you with, may they open doors for you. May you, because the Bible says that everything God has given us to enjoy. So it means whatever you enjoy is part of the blessings of God. And may God help you to turn that enjoyment into fruitfulness. May God help. May God bless you all richly in Jesus' name. So thank you all very much for joining. May God bless you all. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week, Sunday. Same by 3 p.m. Please remember 3 p.m. The link is still valid. The link is still valid. Thank you. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. All right. Good night, sir.